Are you sometimes overwhelmed by the news and the moral dilemmas and changes in modern medicine that now confront us each day? Find out what you can do about it in this edition of Life Matters with Brian Johnston, Western Regional Director of the National Right to Life Committee. He has served in many capacities while advocating for innocent lives, as California Commissioner on Aging, as Chairman of the California Pro-Life Council, on the board of the National Legal Center for the Medically Dependent and Disabled. And now here's our host, Brian Johnston.
Welcome back to Life Matters. We're your program on the right to life, on the culture that emanates from that singular idea that the founders wrote in America's founding documents. It was the aspiration of mankind that there be a government that would protect the God-given rights. Literally, the founders said that these rights are given by a creator, and that the duty of government is to ensure these rights. The whole culture has emanated from this idea. In fact, it's an idea that has girded Western civilization, and it's quite simple. Human beings are not merely smart animals. We're not merely smart animals. There's something more to being a human being. That's created Western civilization, and Western civilization is under assault. There's a battle of ideas going on right now that would have us dismiss the value and significance of human lives and say there's other things that are just as important. The environment is as valuable. Other animals should be considered human beings too. They should be persons. They should be treated exactly as you treat another human being. The animal rights movement, literally the founder, Peter Singer, says that a pig is more valuable than an infant child. By the way, he teaches at Princeton University as their star philosopher. So this is not just a passing battle. It's a battle that takes place for your hearts and minds. And Western civilization's at stake. That's why the right to life needs to be asserted. Right now, we're dealing with a series dealing with later-term abortions. Why? Because later-term abortions are perfectly legal under Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton. The media, their job is to fight in the battle of ideas and to misrepresent what happens in abortion. They don't tell you the truth. That older children, that is to say, children that are farther along in pregnancy, are being killed for no particular reason. That's right. Most people think, well, I don't like abortion, but if it's later on, there's got to be something wrong with that baby or that mommy. It's going to hurt the mom. No. There need not be anything wrong with the mother or the child. It's for choice, abortion at any time, for any reason, or for no reason in particular, just because it's chosen. That is part of the feminist ideology, and it's very much a part of our culture now through the abortion ideology. We have to clarify what this battle is about, because it is a battle for Western civilization. Again, Western civilization asserts that human beings are not merely animals, that there's something more. There are deeper issues to being a human being, and there's deeper responsibilities to being a human being. We're going to focus on later-term abortions because the fact is your neighbors agree with you. Your neighbors who might call themselves pro-choice. When you tell them about later abortions, when they realize these are babies you could hold in your arms, they don't go for that. And the vast majority of Americans, and yes, even Californians, 70% of Californians do not favor unlimited abortion for any time, for any reason, or for no reason in particular. They don't go for that. You need to let them know what's happening. People don't want to talk about the fact that abortions are happening late term or that children can survive. Today, we're going to talk with a very important OBGYN, a very pro-life friend of life and friend of California Pro-Life Council and National Right to Life, and that is Dr. Patrick Marmion. Dr. Marmion will explain late-term abortion. He's going to give you a new term. He's going to talk about the war of ideas within medicine itself and within his profession of OBGs. He's going to explain a new specialty within obstetrics and gynecology. And you know what it's called? Complex family planning. Well, that sounds nice. No, those are just fancy words for late-term abortion and dismemberment abortion. That's right. So that's Dr. Pat Marmion. You're going to hear from him in a moment. By the way, if you're driving, I want to give you a phone number, so don't write it down now. Maybe you can pull over if you have a second. I want to tell you how you can be involved in the Light of Day project here in California, because we want our fellow Californians to understand that this is killing human babies. Again, polls consistently show that when the average person sees just how developed these children are, and yet they're still dismembered for no reason, just for choice, they don't like it. It creeps them out. But it's important that we let them know that. So we want the light of day cast on the practice of abortion in California. This number that I'm going to give you, you can text that number, and here it comes. Again, you can listen later if you're driving, listen to the podcast. But that phone number is 916-347-5644. That's 916-347-5644. Text the word GIVE, G-I-V-E, to that number, and you can support the Light of Day project. It'll also give you all of the background on what we're talking about. The fact that there's no regulations of abortion in California. The fact that the state of California will pay for any abortion at any time, regardless of gestational age. Your tax dollars will pay to kill that baby. We want people to understand this. They don't fully understand it. The media has been clouding their thinking about the nature of the child and the nature of abortion. So we need the light of day. So text 916-347-5644 and text the word GIVE. That allows you to donate as much as you want or as little as you want. But it's also going to get you the materials to explain and help others understand exactly what's happening. We need the light of day on what's really happening in the abortion industry in California. Again, text the word GIVE to 916-347-5644.
Life Matters continues after this.
Life Matters is sponsored by the California Pro-Life Council, the state affiliate of the National Right to Life Committee. To find out more on how you can help and be involved right where you are, go to californiaprolife.org. That's californiaprolife.org. We'll tell you how you can get involved in your local community, how you can be effective if you want to be a pro-life speaker. We have training programs and open doors of opportunity for you to speak on the life issue. If you'd like to donate your car or a boat, you can do that at californiaprolife.org. Car Easy makes it easy, and you find that on our website. We get the most of any donation program. Car Easy allows us to get the most out of your car. Maybe you're not getting the trade-in value you wanted. Maybe it's just not running the way it used to. Let your car be used for life. Go to californiaprolife.org and find out what you can do to make a difference. californiaprolife.org.
Be sure to subscribe to the Life Matters podcast with Brian Johnston. Go to lifematters.life to subscribe. And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
I'm talking to Dr. Pat Marmion. And Dr. Marmion, could you tell us about your background and experience?
Well, I've got a long history of being an advocate for children with disabilities, starting with my residency training as an obstetrician and gynecologist at the University of Cincinnati, when I championed informed consent for women undergoing late-term abortions there in the facility in which I trained at the University Hospital. Conscience rights violations at that time forced me to leave the program and go to San Diego to finish my training in obstetrics and gynecology. Feeling a little chagrined or guilty, I guess, for leaving the organization in Cincinnati without making a stand against violations, I decided to give a grand rounds presentation in San Diego about abortion complications. And I was at a Catholic hospital there, Mercy Hospital in San Diego, and gave a talk at the University Hospital about abortion complications and that women really weren't getting true informed consent for the procedure they were volunteering to go through. And I got fired for it. So it took several years to finish my training. I had to appeal to the board of directors of the American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology to get reinstated. And after 6 years, they finally agreed to allow me to finish my training at a Catholic hospital in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, St. Joseph's Hospital. So I did that, and then I got certified as a specialist in obstetrics and gynecology. And during this 6-year hiatus in San Diego, I was vice president of San Diego Right to Life Council and also a local Christian Action Council. We founded that, my wife and I. And I worked undercover in an abortion industry there called Birth Control Institute, and helped Albin, our friend Albin, when Dr. Joseph Wood performed autopsies on those more than 16,000 babies that were aborted in the Weisberg fiasco.
Yes.
I assisted in those autopsies. And then I wrote research papers for the California Pro-Life Medical Association, and I've written supporting parental consent measure 43 in Oregon when we moved up to this area in 2004.
Let's, if we could, in terms of the timeline, remind folks, many don't know what the Weisberg incident was. What year was that? This is down in Los Angeles.
Right, is March of 1982.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty similar to the situation in Ohio and Indiana with Dr. Klopper, who kept over 2,000 babies in his home in jars recently, and that's undergoing litigation right now, is what to do with those babies.
And it's intriguing that the popular media is silent on that. NBC, ABC, PBS, there's no discussion of what this man has done. And yet this macabre practice is happening. The late-term children are being killed. You know, polls show that many Americans think that Roe v. Wade only allows very early abortions, but it's actually quite the opposite. It allows abortion on demand. In 1982, just to refresh Californians' memories, because this happened literally on the freeways of California, a container, I believe, fell off of a truck, a giant shipping container, or it was stalled by the side of the freeway, or there's something that happened with a shipping container. Do you remember the details?
Yeah. Actually, I believe that he had a shipping container, and he decided not to pay rent on it anymore. And it was confiscated by the owner of the storage company, and when they opened it, they were appalled.
That's right. Inside 16,000 individual babies, and there was quite an uproar. That did make the popular media. That did make the press. And because of the work of Dr. Marmion and, as we've heard, Alban Romberg and many others, California Pro-Life Medical Association, that became an issue. And because of Supervisor Mike Antonovich, he was an elected representative to want to make sure those children got a proper burial, because the ACLU was trying to prevent that. They wanted them all incinerated as trash.
Correct.
And those children were eventually buried. They're in a cemetery in East Los Angeles off of Whittier Boulevard. And every year there's a memorial for them. But it's the largest mass grave, I believe, at least in the Americas. It's a single mass grave, and you can see pictures of them if you look up the Weisberg babies. These were large children. These were not little, tiny pieces of tissue. And you can see when you see their corpses. So it's a stunning thing. And we've asked Dr. Marmion to come on to remind all of us and to explain what happens in late-term abortion. Many Americans were appalled, many confused when the state of New York passed a measure that allowed abortion on demand throughout the entire 9 months, and even allowed the physician to oversee the death of that child if the child was born alive. Americans were stunned, and yet the far left, ACLU, the radical feminists celebrated this in New York. This was a great celebration. This started to wake people up, but there's so much more, because that law is actually a reflection of current law under Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton. And on our program, we've spoken of Doe v. Bolton. Even many pro-lifers don't understand the significance of the twin decisions of Roe v. Wade and Doe v. Bolton. But what you saw pass in New York State simply reflects current law under Roe. But the radical feminists and the pro-abortion movement are afraid that Roe and Doe will be overturned shortly. So what New York State did is merely cement what's going on now. And Dr. Marmion knows what's going on now. So tell us a bit about right now, Dr. Marmion, with the situation with late-term abortion, what people need to know.
Well, Brian, when I mentioned the Weisberg containers when they were opened by the workers, how appalled and shocked they were, yet late-term abortion is a euphemism for the dismemberment and extraction, cutting off the arms and legs, disemboweling and decapitating babies just for the sake of convenience. There's no medical reason. And it's a very common procedure. It's appallingly common. Every week in the United States, 287 prenatal babies are victims of this appalling practice. Every working day, one of these babies will weigh more than 1.5 pounds. And I'm sure, the trial going on in San Francisco against pro-life heroes, the Center for Medical Progress, I'm sure people have seen the video of the abortionist from Arizona, Dr. Deshawn Taylor. She laughed how hard it is to dismember a living baby inside its mother's womb. Is it no wonder that the judge refuses us to view these videos now? She and others of these advocates suppress how frequently late-term abortions occur. Last year, theaters nationwide showed the Gosnell movie and how appalling that was, even for the viewers. It describes what happens to babies born alive. He brutally killed them by cutting their spinal cords. An abortionist in Houston, Doug Carpin, killed them by twisting off their heads or thrusting a dilator through their skulls. Dr. Gosnell's in prison, but Dr. Carpin may still be performing abortions in Texas. Late-term abortion kills 57 babies every working day, 7 babies every hour, 1 every 8 minutes. And our governor of Virginia, who's a pediatrician, witnessed babies dying after surviving late-term abortions. He describes what we see all too often, the purposeful denying of life-saving care for babies because they are born as a result of late-term abortion or because they're premature. This is exactly what's happening now to our premature babies. They're being victims of the late-term abortion advocacy. They want to move the point of viability for babies later and later to justify doing abortions later and later. When Roe v. Wade was decided, babies before in that 28 weeks, 3 months early, rarely survived. But as our technology has improved, the moment that a baby can survive outside of its mother's womb has moved 6 weeks earlier, now currently at 22 weeks, weighing about a little less than 1 pound. These are the babies that the late-term abortionists are targeting. And if they can move the point of viability to 28 weeks, they will have a freer hand. But there's a conflict between treating premature babies in our neonatal intensive care units and abortion advocates who want that to stop so they can continue plying their trade. It's gotten so bad that, Planned Parenthood has dropped safe, legal, and rare just to being we can have an abortion anytime we want for whatever reason. They don't care if it's common or actually they want it to be common. They want everyone to accept it. And it's being forced on physicians and medical students and residents in training to toe the line or risk being sanctioned or removed from the field of practicing medicine. The American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology has just started a new subspecialty. People go to specialists. OBGYNs are really not counted as specialists. We're counted as primary care.
Mm-hmm.
We have subspecialties in infertility and reproductive medicine. We have subspecialists in treating premature labor, premature risks of delivery, called maternal fetal medicine. We have a specialty in women's cancer called gynecologic oncology. And we have specialists in women who have kind of a prolapse or problems with their bladder control. It's called gynecologic urology. Now we have a new specialty, the specialty that trains in how to dismember, disembowel, and decapitate babies in late-term abortions. This has been going on for years and years. The training in this has been funded by the Gates Foundation, the Packard Foundation, the Hewlett Foundation, and other big foundations. Now that it's a subspecialty in the practice of medicine, all of this funding is going to be transferred to us, the taxpayers, allowing this foundation money to be used in other areas of abortion advocacy, not only in our country, but abroad.
What is the term of art for this specialty?
It's got the euphemism of complex family planning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
They destroy the language first.
Oh, yeah, they're always trying to redefine things. Like, they don't like the word late-term abortion.
No.
They say it's not a medical term, but it is. They're just redefining things to make it sound more palatable.
Dr. Marmion, thank you for being on with us.
You're listening to Life Matters.
They say sunlight is the best disinfectant. Did you know that California has a law in the books that says you need to protect babies born alive in the course of an abortion? But that law is simply ignored. The current legislature and Governor Newsom's administration support all abortions all the time. And they simply do not examine or regulate the practice, even though our tax dollars pay for it. We need to shine a light on this cover-up of the abortion industry in our state. Go to CaliforniaProLife.org and click on the Light of Day Project. We need the facts about late-term abortion to be examined and made known. We need the government doing its job to protect lives. We need the light of day on this. Go to CaliforniaProLife.org.
And now back to more Life Matters with Brian Johnston.
I'd like to remind you about the Light of Day project that California Pro-Life is asking you to get involved in. And you can support it financially. We'd appreciate that. But you don't have to. You just need to know. And you need to let other people know that they're killing human babies, babies that you can hold in your arms, that there's no regulation of abortion in California. Most people don't know that. There's better regulations on a vet's clinic, on an animal clinic, than there is on a human abortion clinic. There's no oversight. And what few laws there are not being regulated. That's like somebody driving down the freeway in a Ford Ferrari race and breaking the laws, but not having any policemen pull them over. There's no one regulating and watching over the abortion industry in California because of the radical nature of our legislature and governor. There's no oversight. There's money being given. Millions are given to the abortion industry, and no one's watching them. Let's get the light of day on this. To help out, get your phone and text the word give or donate, just those single words, give, G-I-V-E, or donate, D-O-N-A-T-E, to the phone number 916-347-5644. That's 916-347-5644, and text the word give. You'll then be sent to an information-packed page, and you'll be given a chance to help us spread the word, to bring the light of day on the real facts regarding abortion. You know, the Roe v. Wade decision may be overturned soon, And when that happens, there are states where the light of day has been put into law, and they'll protect babies. But a lot of Californians are walking in darkness. They've been misled by ideologies and by a media that misrepresents abortion as merely a choice or as a reproductive right. There's nothing reproduced in an abortion. Why would you let them get away with that? Don't let people say that without some kind of challenge. It's not reproductive. It's the precise opposite of reproducing. It's killing a human being. There's such deceit in this battle of ideas that if you don't get your sword out and cut through the fog, ain't nobody else going to. You have got to do this, and you've got to be equipped for this battle. That's why we want to equip others, and we're asking you to support that through the Light of Day project. So on your phone, go to the phone number 916-347-5644 and text the word GIVE. You'll then be sent to the California Pro-Life website where you'll get more information and a chance to support exposing the truths about abortion. That's the Light of Day project, 916-347-5644. Text the word GIVE. Thank you for listening and supporting the Right to Life. Thank you for caring enough to battle in this battle of ideas. Because if the wrong ideas are put into law, then very dangerous things will happen. Support those. We're coming up to the year 2020. Not only is there a presidential election, but you're going to have elections all the way down the ballot for a state house, for Congress. We're hoping to take back some of the congressional seats that the pro-abortion Democrat Party took away in California. We're going to be fighting. We hope you'll join us. But also in your local county level, we're encouraging you to be aware of who's running for county office. So take hold of that. Take a hold of responsibility. You can get more information at californiaprolife.org. We need to be responsible for our convictions. We need to be responsible to speak to the culture. We need to shine the light of day on what's really happening around us. Thanks for listening.
Learn more about everything in today's show online at lifematters.life, where you'll find all the resources you need to protect life. If you have questions or comments for Life Matters, call 800-924-2490. Give us your name and the town you're calling from and a quick question or comment. Life Matters is a production of the California Pro-Life Council, the state affiliate of National Right to Life. Wherever you are in the nation, you can find out more at National Right to Life. You can find vital pro-life information and also find the access to your state and local Right to Life affiliate. Get informed and get involved.